Let's work on the navigation items first. There I want to make sure that orders is only visible if we are authenticated. Well, that's of course not too difficult. We already got logic to show something conditionally, so we can also simply wrap this. We can say only if props is authenticated as true, only in this case navigation items order should be shown, otherwise null is rendered in its place. This is the quick and easy and correct way of ensuring we never see orders, as you can confirm when the app reloads, if we're not authenticated. As soon as I do log in here though, orders is shown. Now another thing I want to do is, when we did log in successfully, I want to redirect away from the authentication form here, because it doesn't make sense to show this anymore. This can easily be achieved inside our auth container. There, we in the end render this whole form, and the goal is to simply redirect the user if he's authenticated. Now we already did connect this to our store, so what I can do is in map state to props in the auth container, I can also get the is authenticated information and get this from state auth token and compare this to null. If the token is not null, we're authenticated. And then again, I'll import that redirect component from the router to redirect the user if he is authenticated. So you see that's a common pattern because it's so powerful and easy. So here, React Router DOM is the package from which I import redirect. And now we want to render redirect whenever we are authenticated. So down in the render method, what I will add is a simple if check before we return the JSX, where I will just check if this props is authenticated, this prop we just added, then I want to render my redirect. So I'll create a variable auth redirect, which by default is null to not render anything. But then when we are authenticated, auth redirect will actually be using my redirect component and redirect to just /, let's say. And now of course I need to render auth redirect. I'll do this here inside my div, embed it like this, auth redirect. With this simple trick, we can ensure that when our application reloads and we do log in here, so switch to sign in and submit, we are redirected after a successful login. So that's all working. Let's now ensure that when the burger builder is used, that we can use it even if we are not authenticated, so just as here. But that once I started building one and I click order now, I don't reach a page where I can't do anything anyways, but instead that it says sign up to continue, so that you have to sign up to continue checking out the burger. To do that, I will go to my burger builder container, of course. Here. This is where I include the build controls. This is what's holding this order now button. And the build controls need to know whether I'm authenticated or not. So let's get this good old authentication check into map state to props in the burger builder container 2. Is authenticated. As always, reaching out to state auth token and comparing it to null. And then is authenticated should be passed on to the build controls. So there I'll add a is auth prop and bind it to this props is authenticated, the prop we just mapped in map state to props. Now let's move on to the build controls, to the build controls component, which we can find in the burger component in the components folder, build controls. And there we now receive that is auth prop, which holds that information. And it determines what this button down here does. Now what the button does right now is that in the burger builder, where we handle this ordered prop, which in the end is just a prop connected to the click event of the button, that there we execute this purchase handler, and in the purchase handler, we set the state to purchasing, and that will then lead to the rest unfolding and our modal being shown where we can continue and so on. So the idea is that in the end, we do just what we do in the modal when we continue, or to be precise, what we therefore do in the order summary on continuing. The purchase continue handler is executed there, and there we simply push to checkout, so that we do push to checkout once the user signed up, if he signed up through our redirection from the burger builder. For that, we first of all need that redirection. So back to the build controls. It's this button we want to work on. This button here should behave differently if we are not authenticated. I'll handle most of that logic in the burger builder container though. Here I only want to change the caption. So I'll actually wrap it in curly braces and I'll just check props, which I do receive as an argument in the build controls presentational component, is off. That's the prop we just passed down. If that's true, then I'll output a string order now. Otherwise, I'll output sign up to order, something like that. So this is my button style now. If we go back to the application on the burger builder, we see that if we're not authenticated, we see sign up to order. And if we do log in, we should see that this changes. We got order now. Now we need to make sure that this button does the right thing. Keep in mind, when we click the button, we simply execute the method which is sent to this component on the ordered prop. So if we go back to the burger builder container, we see that the ordered prop is bound to purchase handler. The purchase handler shows us the modal by setting the state to purchasing or purchasing to true in this container. Now, I only want to do that if we are authenticated. Otherwise, I want to redirect to my authenticated page. So what we can do is we can go into the purchase handler and check this props. And there the prop is set up in our map state to props constant is authenticated. This is the prop we pass to our burger builder container, which holds the authentication status. So if we are authenticated, then I want to set the state to purchasing. Otherwise, I want to use my history prop. This is coming from the React router, if you remember, to push the user to the /auth page so that he has a chance of signing up. Now, with that, if we save our application and we go back, now we can add something to the burger and click sign up to order, and clicking this button redirects us here to the sign up page. Of course, the issue we have is that if we now sign in, we'll simply be redirected back to the burger builder and our currently built burger will be lost. It would be better to be redirected directly to the checkout page and there still have our burger. The latter would be the case because the burger ingredients are stored in the Redux store, and if we don't go back to burger builder, this won't be reset. But of course, that redirection is the issue because we only want to redirect in this scenario. If the user just got into the app and clicked on authenticate, we don't want to redirect on checkout because no burger was built yet. There won't be any ingredients to check out. Let's take a look at how we solve this problem in the next lecture.